Good morning, friends. Today's story is called The Old Man and His Door, and it's by Gary Soto. Illustrations by John Cepeda. And I know it's Cepeda because C makes a soft sound when it comes before an E. In Mexico, there's a little song that goes like this. La puerta el puerco. There's no difference to el viejo. That's because to a viejo, an old man, they sound much alike, especially if he's not listening carefully. Of course, in Spanish, puerta means door and puerco means pig. So young or old, if you don't listen carefully, it can get you in trouble. This is the story of an old man in a little village who was good at working in the garden, but terrible at listening to his wife. He could grow the biggest tomatoes and the hottest of hot chilies. His chickens were large and white, and his pigs as plump as water balloons. But whenever his wife called him, he would hurry into his garden and pick up a hoe, pretending to be busy. Later, over dinner, he'd say, "Vieja, I didn't hear you." On one Sunday, while he was giving their dog Coco a bath on the porch, his wife came out of the house dressed in her best clothes. She was off to her comadre's for a barbecue. "I don't want you to be late, viejo," she warned. "I won't," he promised. "Just let me finish here." But right then, Coco jumped from the tub and ran away with a mountain of suds on his back. The old man dropped the soap and scrub brush and ran after him. They circled the house 3 times and the avocado tree 9 times, with the chickens and pigs stampeding behind. "I want you to bring el puerco," the wife screamed each time he came around the house. "Did you hear me? El puerco. Don't forget to bring that pig." Can you guys see the pig? "Sí, entiendo. I hear you," he panted as he ran, not really listening. Finally, Coco ran into the tomato vines, where the old man caught him and carried him back to the tub. His wife, left dizzy from watching, she closed the gate behind her and set off up the road. Some of you are making a prediction about what you think is going to happen right now. The old man started Coco on another bath. When he finished, he scratched his head and said to himself, "Pues? I don't know why my wife wants me to bring a puerta." But he didn't argue. He shrugged and unscrewed the front door. Then he heaved it onto his shoulders and headed up the street. After a mile, he stopped to rest near a small, shabby house. Out front was the little girl taking care of her baby sister, who was crying. "¿Qué pasa?" the old man asked. "What's the matter?" "The baby is bored," the girl answered. "She has nothing to play with except her fingers and the hole in her pocket." "Pobrecita," he said as he combed her soft hair with his fingers. Suddenly, the old man had an idea. He took the baby into his arms and brought her to the door. He placed the baby on one side and himself on the other. Together they played peekaboo and tan-tan, who's there, until the baby gave him a kiss and gurgled happily. The old man continued on his way to the barbecue, whistling and playing Kick the Rock. The road was empty and the blue sky as wide as a hat. Then he passed under a tree. The door bumped a beehive hanging from a vine. All around him buzzed a swarm of angry bees. "Ay, ay, ay," he shouted and ran until his legs grew tired. "These bees are too fast." Panting, he lay down with the door on top of him until the bees buzzed past. Then slowly he opened the peephole and saw only a square patch of sky. "That was close," he said, and rose to his feet. The old man looked at the beehive and imagined the honey inside. No point in wasting it, he thought, so he drained the honey into his hat, balanced it on the door, and continued on his way. Soon a ragged goose dropped from the sky and landed on the door, now heavier by the weight of a few scruffy feathers. "Por favor, rest on my door," the man offered. "Ride as long as you want." The ragged goose honked gratefully. She rode for a mile, and when the old man stopped to rest, the goose flapped her wings and flew away. The old man wiped his brow and looked back at the door. "What's this?" he asked, light in his eyes. He felt the weight of a big egg in his palm. "Adios," he said, beaming. "I'm a lucky man." Some of you are wondering, why does he think he's supposed to bring a door to the barbecue? He started off again with the door on his shoulders, but before long he heard shouts coming from the lake. He shaded his eyes and looked toward the water. "Ayúdame," a boy screamed. "Help me." I have no idea if I pronounced that right. The old man ran down to the lake. He threw the door into the water and paddled out to the drowning boy. He hauled him onto the door, where they both panted with relief. A turtle wriggled from the old man's shirt, and a fish jumped from his pocket. The boy thanked him 1,000 times. "Mil gracias," he said. "Just promise me," the old man said as he steered toward the shore, "you'll listen to your parents and stay dry until you can swim." On land, the old man brushed a wet leaf from the boy's face. Then he lifted a fish from the boy's shirt. "Mira, another one," he said, admiring its gleaming scales. He placed it in his pocket. What do you think he's going to do with the fish that he puts in his pocket? The old man waved goodbye and balanced the dripping door on his shoulders. Now he hurried back to the road because he knew he was late to the barbecue. His wife would be angry. But he stopped after only a few minutes when he saw a young man trying to load furniture into a wagon. "Here, let's use this," the old man said, patting the door. He propped it against the wagon so they could use it as a ramp. Then they loaded chairs and tables and a large piano that tinkled as they pushed. What does it mean to tinkle? What do you think the piano's doing? "Muchísimas gracias," the young man said. "De nada, you're welcome," the old man replied. "I never knew a door had so many uses." Together they placed the door on the old man's shoulders. The young man balanced 2 watermelons on either side. "These are from my garden," he said. The old man hurried along with his gifts and finally arrived at the comadre's house. The barbecue was in the yard. There was music playing, and a donkey piñata hung from the tree. "I'm here," he announced. The door slid from his shoulders. "Ay, Dios," cried his wife. "What are you doing with the door?" "Pues, you told me to bring it," he said, wiping his brow. "It was hard work." "I said to bring el puerco, not la puerta." She wheeled around to her comadre. "He never listens to me. I ask him to bring the pig, and he brings the door." The old man had to laugh, took the egg from his pocket, and said, "But look what else I brought." "Un huevo?" she said with surprise. "Sí, an egg, and some honey and fish and these watermelons. And even this," he said as he gave his wife a kiss from the baby. "You brought all this?" his wife blushed. "Sí, let me tell you how it happened." "Tell us over dinner," the comadre interrupted kindly. La puerta, el puerco. There's no difference to el viejo. I hope you enjoyed the story. Oh, I thought I was missing a page. They barbecued the fish, the boiled egg, sliced watermelons, made a table of the door, and placed the honey hat in the center. La puerta, el puerco. There's no difference to el viejo. I hope you enjoyed the story. Have a great day.